Late in the fourth quarter, the score already said what the night had become. Philadelphia was in control, Washington was running out of answers, and the NFC East race was effectively over. But rivalry games rarely end quietly, and this one found its final surge not in the scoreboard, but in raw emotion. With less than 5 minutes remaining, the Eagles lined up for a 2-point conversion after another touchdown. It was a statement moment more than a necessity, the kind of play that twists the knife in a division opponent. When Saquon Barkley crossed the goal line to make it 29-10, he jogged calmly back toward the sideline. Behind him, everything unraveled. The fuse had already been burning. On the conversion attempt, Commanders safety Will Harris got his hand up inside the face mask of Eagles receiver Darius Cooper. That kind of contact happens all the time, but context matters. Washington was frustrated, Philadelphia was dominating, and Cooper didn't let it go. When the play ended, he turned back toward Harris and the confrontation began. From there, it escalated fast. Commanders cornerback Mike Sainristil grabbed Cooper as the receiver was being backed up by Eagles linemen Landon Dickerson and Fred Johnson. Washington defensive tackle Darren Payne shoved into the group, adding size and force to an already tense moment. What started as shoving turned into a mass of bodies pushing, pulling, and yelling near the end zone. Then Tyler Steen entered the picture, and that's when control was lost. The Eagles' right guard appeared to throw a jab at Sainristil. Sainristil swiped back but stayed just within the line. Steen didn't. Washington players immediately swarmed him. Javon Kinlaw threw a punch. Quan Martin followed. Steen was dragged to the ground in a pile of jerseys, and when players finally separated, Martin was standing with Steen's helmet in his hands, the clearest possible signal that this was no longer just posturing. Officials rushed in. Flags flew everywhere. One official's hat hit the turf, indicating disqualifications were coming. When the dust settled, 6 flags were scattered across the field, and 3 players were gone. Steen for Philadelphia, Kinlaw and Martin for Washington. It was ugly, but it wasn't surprising. These teams don't like each other, and they haven't for a while. Over the last 2 seasons, they've played 5 times, and every meeting has added another layer of resentment. Philadelphia has emerged as the more stable, more physical, more successful team. Washington, meanwhile, has been stuck chasing, reshuffling, and absorbing punishment, both on the scoreboard and emotionally. Mike Sainristil's post-game comments told the story without saying much at all. He didn't point to trash talk. He didn't blame a specific hit. He talked about protecting his brothers. That mindset is admirable, but it's also what turns frustration into chaos when a game is slipping away. Saquon Barkley was more blunt. "It's chippy out there," he said. "This team don't like us. We don't like them either." That wasn't a soundbite. It was an honest summary of the relationship. Philadelphia runs the ball with force, celebrates physical dominance, and doesn't apologize for it. Washington feels disrespected, overmatched, and tired of watching a rival celebrate on their field. When you mix those ingredients late in a lopsided game, something is going to boil over. From the Eagles' perspective, the fight was a blemish on an otherwise successful night. They controlled the game despite Jake Elliott missing 2 field goals in the first half. They survived turnovers. They leaned on Barkley, who once again showcased his explosiveness with a 48-yard run that blended his trademark jump cut and spin move. They watched Tank Bigsby punch in a touchdown. And in the end, they walked off as NFC East champions for the 2nd straight year, something no team in the division had done since the 2004 Eagles. But internally, Philadelphia will have to reckon with the moment. Tyler Steen didn't just defend a teammate. He escalated a situation in a game that was already decided. That's the fine line this Eagles team walks. Their toughness is a strength, but in January, discipline matters just as much as aggression. Ejections, fines, and potential suspensions don't help in the postseason. For Washington, the fight reflected a team at its breaking point. They were already without key players, down to backup options, and trying to hang on against a division rival that smelled blood. After Marcus Mariota exited earlier, the emotional load only got heavier. By the fourth quarter, frustration replaced structure. The brawl didn't change the outcome, but it defined the ending. It underscored how physical and personal this matchup has become, and it guaranteed that the Week 18 rematch won't be treated like a routine finale. Even if playoff positioning is settled, pride won't be. When these teams meet again, nobody will forget what happened near that end zone. The helmets, the punches, the flags, those images linger. Rivalries aren't built only on close games or dramatic finishes. Sometimes they're built on nights like this, when one team stands tall, the other boils over, and everyone leaves knowing the next meeting will carry unfinished business. Philadelphia left with the division title. Washington left with bruises, frustration, and a memory that won't fade anytime soon. 3 players were ejected late Saturday night after a fight broke out in the fourth quarter of the Philadelphia Eagles' 29-18 win over the Washington Commanders at Northwest Stadium. With less than 5 minutes remaining, Eagles right guard Tyler Steen and Commanders defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw and safety Quan Martin were all thrown out following a chaotic brawl that erupted after a Philadelphia 2-point conversion made it 29-10. The sequence began after a touchdown drive highlighted by Saquon Barkley's 48-yard run featuring his trademark jump cut and spin move. Following a Tank Bigsby touchdown, Barkley crossed the goal line again on the 2-point attempt as kicker Jake Elliott continued to struggle. As Barkley jogged back toward the sideline, a fight broke out behind the play near the end zone. During the conversion, Commanders safety Will Harris put his hand into the face mask of Eagles wide receiver Darius Cooper. Cooper confronted Harris after the play, and the situation quickly escalated. Commanders cornerback Mike Sainristil grabbed Cooper as Eagles linemen Landon Dickerson and Fred Johnson stepped in. Commanders defensive tackle Darren Payne then shoved Johnson. Steen appeared to escalate matters further by throwing a punch at Sainristil. Sainristil swiped back, but was not ejected. Steen was soon surrounded by Washington players, with Kinlaw and Martin both throwing punches. Kinlaw helped take Steen to the ground, while Martin emerged holding Steen's helmet. Fox Sports analyst Greg Olson noted on the broadcast that 6 penalty flags and an official's hat were scattered across the field by the time officials regained control. After the game, Sainristil said he acted out of loyalty to his teammates. "I don't know. I just know that I saw my brothers out there, so I'm going to do everything to protect my brothers," Sainristil said via The Athletic's Nikki Jabvala. When asked if anything specific was said during the altercation, he replied, "Nah, no clue." Barkley acknowledged the bad blood between the teams who have faced each other 5 times over the past 2 seasons and will meet again in Week 18. "It's chippy out there," Barkley said. "We have a lot of history with this team, especially since I've been here. This team don't like us. We don't like them either." The game itself was messy throughout. Elliott missed 2 field goals in the first half, both teams committed turnovers, and Washington suffered multiple injuries. Despite the chaos, Philadelphia pulled away late and secured the victory. With the win, the Eagles clinched the NFC East, becoming the first team to repeat as division champions since the 2004 Eagles.